The solution to implementing zero trust in your organization actually lies in utilizing OTP. Now, when I often say that, a lot of people will sort of step back going, I don't think I've ever heard zero trust and OTP used in the same sentence, let alone as one being the solution for the other. But let me explain. What is really zero trust? Zero trust is implementing an environment in which an entity can be compromised and it has no impact on any other entity. So the general concept of zero trust is if you have a client and they get infected with malware, it doesn't infect any other client. And if a server gets infected, it doesn't really infect any other server. Or if a vendor gets infected, it doesn't impact any of their clients, which is okay at a high holistic level. But let's drill down a little bit. There's actually levels of zero trust. You could also say zero trust exists within a computer, that if one application gets compromised, it won't impact another application. And if we go even further, we can say that zero trust is if one data record gets compromised, then another data record can't be compromised. If we look at all these different layers of zero trust, let's ask a question. What is really the goal? Why all this zero trust stuff? The goal of zero trust at the end of the day is really to minimize or reduce the impact of an attack. That's the whole idea of zero trust. So if an organization or entity, whatever level you want to talk about, gets attacked or compromised, the impact to the organization will be contained or controlled because nobody trusts anything. Well, if we pull on that string a little more, when we talk about minimizing or reducing the impact of an attack, what is ultimately the difference between a major or a minor attack? It's the data. It's the amount of data that is ultimately compromised. So if we really are taking zero trust to the extreme and really doing true zero trust, it's really about minimizing the impact of an attack by controlling the data that an adversary gets access to. What's the problem today? Our data is encrypted using a single key. That's not zero trust. That's like mega trust, million record trust, right? So now when that server gets compromised and that one key gets compromised, we can access 50 million. So as I said, if the goal of zero trust is to minimize or reduce impact, then OTP is the answer, because now each record in your database is encrypted with a separate key, and each key is securely stored. If that's not zero trust, I don't know what is. No record trusts any other record because they're all individual one-time keys. So now, if we go in, instead of trying to do all this crazy stuff with VLANs and everything else, which don't get me wrong is good, if we really want to tackle and solve the problem of zero trust, let's go to the root cause data and let's start implementing OTP, because that's really the problem of reducing the impact of an attack. If we could get our records, our data, our critical information, that is ultimately what the attacker is after, to actually be implemented in a zero trust manner, which it's not today, and we can switch from one key that encrypts 50 million records to 50 million unique keys, each individually protecting a record, that's how we ultimately get to zero trust.